So wrong.
What if I just started so you had to use that?
I would use it. It would be hilarious.
I mean, you haven't started yet.
Hello, this is a podcast from Rollin Dice show here at Essen Spiel 2015. I'm joined by Tom Ryan.
Hello.
Richard Smith.
Hello.
And Daniela Rabbits.
Hello.
And we've had a jam-packed day at Essen, and we just wanted to talk about the game that gave us the best impression from day one. So I'm going to hand it over to Daniela to tell us what her game was.
My game was Arcadia, and it's my favorite game of the day because I bought it, and it was only 10 o'clock in the morning. So
yeah, it was an early purchase for you. It
Yeah.
didn't take long to break that wallet open.
So convinced so quickly. And it's basically about building a theme park.
Yeah. Carnival specifically, because you can just, in certain cases, just have food stalls.
Yeah, mine was food stalls, but also I had like a duck catching thing. So, there was stuff to do there.
So no,
me.
you had a duck pond. It's not a duck catching thing.
No, we had a duck catching game and then 4 food stalls.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, the thing where you have a fishing rod and you try and hook a duck.
Hook a duck.
It's called
like one of those
like
hook a
hook-a-ducks.
ducks. Yeah.
So they catch the duck and then they...
It's a duck cooking game.
And then
they cook it in one of the restaurants.
No, it's like a plastic duck, and then on the bottom of it, it's got like whether or not you win, and if you win, you get a prize.
Sounds exciting. Daniela, why did you like it so much?
Well, I don't know. I was kind of bad at it, and yet I still had fun. I think that was what got it for me, basically.
I think it's a really neat little game.
Yeah, it was really cool. The art style was on point.
Spot on, and it's not overpriced like it was.
How much was it?
15 euros?
Yeah, and it's ex Kickstarter, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. It would
Just
be.
to say that price is an SN price, so it might be slightly higher in shops.
Yeah.
But yeah, for us that was a no-brainer. I think if you hadn't bought it, definitely one of us would have.
Yeah. Although Andy went from saying, I don't know if I like this, to, yeah, we should totally buy it in the space of about 5 seconds. So, I mean, that's a good thing, really.
I have contrasting opinions sometimes.
Am I going to win this game? Oh, I like it. It's good. This is a good game.
And the character assassination begins.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to start somewhere. Might as well start now.
Tom, let's move over to you. What game did you see that you thought, wow, this is a game for Tom Ryan?
I think the one jumps to mind is the one also I ended up buying, My Neighbour. Like, I had briefly read about it being there and it seemed kind of cool. I thought we might just enjoy playing it, but instantly kind of really got into it. So it's very simple, kind of the love letter masquerade kind of feel to it. Just pick up one, discard one, or use one, whatever. But it's very much really quick moving, like everything, all the cards are permanently moving about. And it's just trying to catch the one person that's a monster or not.
I think that's cool because it plays up to 8, and also we had a really good time with 4 people.
Yeah, it's one of the ones where you can have lots of people into it, but actually we played with less people and it still plays nicely, whereas we've played other games that are potentially high players and don't play nice.
Some games that are obviously designed for those big numbers just don't scale well. Yeah. So you mentioned love letter. Is it? Is there a kind of similar number of cards, or is it like do you get a full deck of cards, or is it like 10?
I guess it's mostly the fact that you play a card and then that's what you do for the turn. Like a love letter, you just play a card.
Kind of rolls. I mean, each card has its own function. Yeah, but I don't know if there's as many. But having said that, we played.
But just roughly, it's not like a full deck of cards.
It is a full deck, but you
How
kind
many
of
cards?
you kind of make individual decks each time.
Right. Okay.
Of 16. So for us, it was 16. So kind of like Love Letter, because Love Letter has 16 cards, like the original Love Letter.
I think it's 16 from 28. No,
I don't know,
30
because I think
30.
if it's 8, you have to put in 4 cards for each.
It's a relatively small number of cards. So presumably each round's going to last like 4 full turns.
Yeah, or it can only last 4 turns.
4 turns.
Right.
Specifically.
Yeah. Okay.
built to
Yeah.
last.
Sorry. That's what I was trying to get to. I probably
sorry.
took the wrong convoluted route there.
What was the biggest strength of the game?
I think actually like replayability is going to be pretty good on it because it comes from quite a big deck that you then weed down to the 16. So actually, one of the cards, the guy running us through the game was trying to explain never came up. So he just eventually at the end of the game just had to be like, oh, this is like kind of like a betrayer card. You can be like a friend of the monster, and that means you score points when the monster wins the round.
Oh, that's
but
very cool.
Just never came up. So just
Okay, interesting, cool. And you bought that?
Yeah, and I think again price was 15, wasn't it?
Yeah.
15.
15 is the magic number apparently. For
Yeah,
buying games.
I think that
That
is
is the
it's
Essen
like
number,
enough
yeah.
that you know that you're getting a game of some sort of quality, but also enough that you can just pay that. It's fine.
Yeah,
15's fine.
Yeah, exactly. It seems like a okay number. I'm like, yeah, I've always got 15 to spare.
And that's
I don't
what,
know.
like £12, something like that. That's fine. £12 is fine.
It's a good number.
Yeah.
So I'm going to move on to the game that I enjoyed the most from day one.
Rude.
At
That's
Essen.
very greedy.
And we'll end on Richard Smith.
Yeah.
'cause,
End on the best.
Sure. So we were lucky to be shown the game by one of the people who published the game. It's called Mafia de Cuba, and it was definitely new to me. And it's a roll deduction game, and it's just got a really interesting theme, but then some really interesting mechanics. Basically, the big mafia boss is sitting at a table with his his henchman, and he's got his cigar box, and he has to go off suddenly, so leaves the cigar box with his henchman, but the cigar box has a false bottom, and in it is his diamonds, and also for the game there are some rolls. So basically you pass the box round, and secretly you can either remove diamonds or you can pick a roll. So they're sort of hidden roles, but you get to choose who you want to be, which is quite interesting. Basically, if you want to steal the diamonds, you have to be able to. You have to have the most diamonds at the end. And if you pick a role, you sort of need to pick a side. And it's basically the big mafia boss has to try and determine and seek out who stole the diamonds. Really interesting, really fun. Rich, what did you think?
I didn't get to look up close, but one of the things that really struck me from what I did see was just the quality of everything was really nice. Like all the rolls were on poker chips and had a kind of weird, like not weird, but like a sketched out art style of what that person looks like. And there were also like the diamonds were not actual diamonds,
Diamond shaped.
Were diamond shaped, clear plastic cut diamond.
Yeah.
You know, it's a nice thing. And when you take those, you physically take them and shove them in your pocket. And the same for your roll. So you look at your roll, remember what it is, and put it away.
Yeah, exactly.
And the way those rolls worked were really cool as well. Like there was basically wise guys who are trying to track who win if the Godfather manages to find out who stole all his diamonds. There was undercover FBI agents who are trying to get caught out. The Godfather, is trying to find his diamonds, like Andy said. So he can choose people to turn out their pockets and, in theory, reveal the fact that they've got diamonds.
That's cool.
But if he catches an FBI agent, then the FBI agent
Was that
turns
gun?
out his thing and effectively shoots everybody.
Yeah.
It's like, I got you.
He arrests them.
No, he shoots them.
He doesn't shoot them.
I mean,
he shoots them.
He arrests them.
And then there was like a driver role who wins if the person to the right of him wins. Because the idea being that he's driving people, but he doesn't know who he's driving, so he's just doing what he's
cares
told.
about his right hand man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because they've got no clue of the allegiance.
Yeah.
Just going for it. Hoping for the best.
And then the last role was like a snitch, almost. He was.
No, it's an assassin.
Well, I mean, he was trying to find out who the FBI guys were, and shoot them.
Okay.
Or one of them. And if he got it right, then he won. And if he got it wrong, then he lost.
Awesome.
I think one of the reasons I like the game the most is that it's literally a box, some diamonds, and some poker chips.
Yeah.
That's the game, but it's amazing. Like because of the mechanics and rules that they've come up to make it enjoyable. It looks good. It sounds like a lot of fun, and hopefully going to try and get a copy.
Yeah, it looks like the sort of game that if you've got the right group for it, it's going to be fantastic fun.
Rich, let's end on a high, and hope you've got a good game to tell us about.
I've got an absolutely fantastic game to talk about. Mr. Jones. That game is called Fury of Dracula, 2nd edition, although it doesn't say 2nd edition anywhere on the box.
Nice.
So, as this is obvious, it's the 2nd edition of a game that already exists. But that game's been out of print for a long, long while and retails for about £100 on eBay.
Amazing.
So, it is a hidden movement game where four monster hunters are trying to find and kill Dracula. And Dracula obviously is concealed because he's a vampire, he does what he wants. But the way he moves from place to place is by playing a series of cards on the board.
Yep.
And with each card, he also places down an encounter that will happen if people stumble upon that place. So let's say, I don't know, I was in Munich. I was Dracula, I was in Munich. Daniela was one of the investigators, goes to Munich. She discovers part of the trail, which is that card, and also the encounter card. So the encounter card would be like there's a young vampire there, so you got to try and kill it. Or it might be nothing. But there's only 6 spaces on the board for each location. For the location, sorry. So when I've been to my 7th location, those they all get shunted along.
Oh, right.
Which means that 6th location card comes back to my hand, which is good because it means I can go back to a space. But more importantly, it means that encounter card gets pushed off the board and activates. And the activation at the bottom was much worse than generally much worse than the encounter itself. So it would do things like increasing the stories that were kind of being spread about Dracula, which meant that his influence was stronger, which meant that ultimately he was closest to winning, and all of the effects would be much worse. Or it could just be that another young vampire was spawned, or 2 of them, or whatever. So it was really smart, really clever, kind of the way that it all moved, this track thing. And Anton was... the game's not out yet. They're hoping to get it out for October. For October 31st, obviously, Halloween. And he was saying he's struggling because he's not got a kind of 5-minute or 5-second bite, audio bite for it. He doesn't know quite how to sell it because there's too much going on and too much that's exciting about it. There was too many different bits that he wanted to tell people about when he talks about the game. And there's this kind of tipping point where at the start all of the investigators are just trying to find weaponry or holy water or whatever to try and fight against Dracula when they finally find him. And then as soon as they stumble upon his trail, it's this kind of snap and stop of, okay, we need to look at how many turns away was he here. This means he's here. He could be within this kind of radius, which means you need to go here, you need to go here, you need to go here. Or if 2 investigators were in the same space, they could say, we need to talk, and go out of the room and have a discussion away from Dracula.
Okay, that's really fucking cool.
And then come back in, and obviously then everything else is completely audible to the guy playing Dracula. But that thing was just okay, now this is a different level of stuff.
Yeah.
It looked really cool. I mean, the board looked beautiful, all the cards looked awesome. It was dripping in theme. They'd really kind of embraced the gothic nature of the original novel and injected as much of it as they could into the game. And I'm just really excited for it. It looks like it's going to be fun.
But is Transylvania on the map?
Yeah, I think so.
Good.
Yeah.
The one thing I liked about the game is in most hidden movement games, if you're hidden, if you're the hidden one, you've got this piece of paper and you're having to tick and cross where you're going and sort of lay it out. But this one just uses cards, so it's much more cleaner and just a nicer implementation of it.
And also it means that you can't once you've gone to those spaces, you can't go to those spaces again until you get the cards back.
Yeah, it really makes sense.
So you can't just if everybody's effed off to the other side of the board, you can't just flick between two spots. You have to keep moving, which obviously increases the chance that you'll get discovered at some point, which is good. That's what you need, because those games are only fun for everybody once there's some scent. As soon as there's an idea of where you might be, is interesting. Until then, it's just we'll go here and see, or here and here, and then there's that snap, of like, okay, now we need to get down to business, and this is like really tracking down.
And there's different routes for the hunters. Say there's railway lines. You can take the train, but in the game you have to buy a rail ticket first. And I just love the mundaneness of that. It's just lovely. But then you can like travel long distances and try and catch up to Dracula.
Yeah, it looked really cool. Like, it's definitely one to look out for. It's
fantasy. Is it Fantasy Flight?
Yes. Yeah.
So is there one team that's essentially going to be Imperial, like in Star Wars? So is there one? As he said, that there's like a balance. Like, does Dracula win most of the time?
He actually said it was heavily skewed in favour of the adventurers, but you wouldn't think that for your first few plays.
Okay. Yeah. I mean.
I've
heard that line before.
I specifically asked that because I was like, so do you track the ratio of sort of during play testing? And he sort of sidestepped the question because he doesn't have the stats to hand, which is fair. But yeah, he said even though you don't realise it, like, you do have these tools to track down Dracula, so it's just a case of like surviving the early game and then tipping the balance.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good. Right, cool. Guys, I think we've had a solid first day at Essen.
It was great.
Is there anything we're looking forward to tomorrow?
More of the same.
Good answer. Sorry, I brought you a long time rhyme. Daniela Rabbits.
Yes.
What are you looking forward to tomorrow?
I don't know. I have so many games on my list that I need to see that I don't know where I'm going to go first.
I mean, that's kind of like just sidestepping Andy's question for a second and just saying, like, Essen is completely overwhelming. It's huge.
Yeah. Like to a way that you wouldn't even understand looking at the maps or looking even at videos. Like, I've seen videos of Essen and I've gone like, okay, that's a big event.
Yeah, but no. It is a big event. I mean, on the way to it, we were like, oh, yes, it's this building here. And we were like, hang on, there's a building over there that's called Essen Messe. Is it there? No, it's the same. It's the same building. It's just fucking huge and extends all the way around. I mean, I dread to think of how far we've walked today.
Yeah.
But there's so much there that, like, it's perfectly reasonable that you just put
5 halls and a galleria and just everything. It's just massive.
Some of those halls could house airplanes. They are
multiples.
Yeah.
So it's brilliant.
Yeah.
We're hoping to bring out one of these each day. So tune in tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow, I don't know.
It should be tomorrow. Hopefully we'll get one out a week. And
1 out a week?
1 out a week, 1 out a day for a couple of days.
For while we're here. So tune in and thank you for listening. You can check out our YouTube at youtube.com/Rollin Dice. You can tweet us at Rollin Dice. You can just go to our website, which you've probably already found, www.rollindiceshow.com.
And what's your Twitter, Mr. Jones?
My Twitter is at RDSJonesy.
And what's your Twitter, Thomas Ryan?
At TRyanArt.
And what's your Twitter, Daniela Rabbits?
This was a bad question for you to ask because I have a Romanian name.
Yeah, exactly. Spell that out.
It's just Daniela and then OANA.
It's easy. And I'm RDS Rich.
It's not even your name, Daniela. Just nicked it from somewhere.
I mean, just no.
Wow.
Okay,
the
cool.
accusations.
So we'll speak to you tomorrow.
Auf Wiedersehen.